Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'll be profiling for you a deck that me and my friend concocted about 3 years ago, and that is Skill Drain Beatdown. Now, you can play Skill Drain in a whole bunch of different decks, but this deck, we put vanilla monsters in there. It's a really fun deck to play. I can't emphasize that enough, how fun this deck is. Pretty much what you do is you get to your Skill Drain. It's fairly easy to get to Skill Drain, but usually by turn 1 or turn 2. You get your Skill Drain out in the field, shut down your opponent's effects on the field, and then start beating them over with normal effect monsters, vanilla monsters. But it's actually a reason why we play vanilla monsters, which is I will get to later down the road when I'm doing the deck profile. But remember, to play Skill Drain, you have to be such a skillful player to play that card. You know, it takes so much skill to play Skill Drain. Yes, I am joking. But without further ado, we'll get to the deck profile. I'll explain all the card combos, all the card choices. I'll talk about some things that I've been trying out in the deck since the last time I profiled it. Some new cards I've been trying out, some new type of ideas in the deck to make it better. So without further ado, let's get started, guys. So guys, I should also mention that there will be a deck list down in the description below. There will be a deck list of this deck so you can look over the card list and everything. I know my camera quality is not the best. So some of our first 6 monsters we have is 3 Gene Warp Werewolf and 3 Volse Raider. Pretty much the reason why I chose these is Gene Warp Werewolf does have 2000 attack, which is very handy with Skill Drain out on the field. But also, they're Beast Warriors. These are your 6 Beast Warriors, because I am trying something out, cool out in the deck, is I'm pretty much running a mini fire engine in the deck. So I run 3 Tinky and some Tensus. That way you can swarm the field better and you can search the deck out, search these guys out, these vanilla monsters out if you want to quicker, so your deck doesn't get cloggy and you can thin your deck out and all those nice little things. I am trying out currently, I'm testing in the deck things like Firefist Bear and Coach Sojo Wolfbark, but they do contradict with Skill Drain because they get their effects when they're on field. So it's something that if you want to play around with, go right ahead. Adding a making the deck more of having a mini Firefist engine by adding Bear and Wolfbark. That's something I'm playing around with currently, but it's pretty much a mini Beast Warrior engine, I guess you could say. So those are some of your vanillas. Your last vanillas are 3 Alexander Dragon. You do run Seal of the Olycalcos in this deck here, Seal of the Olycalcos, because what you can do is if you have Skill Drain out in the field, you can pretty much just summon Gene Warp Werewolf or Alexander Dragon. They're 2,500 beaters with Seal of the Olycalcos out in the field, and you can just start running over your opponent's stuff like crazy. It's really fun. And plus, with Skill Drain out in the field, they can get over a lot of problematic cards. Next, I run pretty much 3 Beast King Barbaros. Beast King Barbaros is pretty much the boss monster of the deck. When Skill Drain is activated on the field, so say you have Skill Drain activated on the field, you can go normal summon Beast King Barbaros because of his effect from hand, and he will have 3,000 attack. With Seal of the Olycalcos out in the field, he becomes 3,500 attack. So with Skill Drain out in the field, and Seal of the Olycalcos out in the field, and you have a Beast King Barbaros out there, there's not a lot of cards that can get around this card. He can pretty much just run over everything. I should also add that if you summon Beast King Barbaros with normal summon Beast King Barbaros without a Skill Drain on the field, his attack will go to 1,900 attack. Even if you activate a Skill Drain later on, his attack will still stay 1,900 attack from what I've read on the ruling of Beast King Barbaros. Next, I run 2 Cataville Omen. Cataville Omen kind of works like a Lavava chain in this deck. So first I'm going to read over the effect, and then I'm going to explain how it works. So Cataville Omen's an old card from Pharaonic Guard. It states that when this card is flipped face up, it's a flip effect. When it's flipped face up, when Necro Valley is on the field, you get to add 1 trap card from your deck to your hand. Now, we don't run Necro Valley in the deck, but this card was actually made for Necro Valley way back in the day. But pretty much what you do is, it says when Necro Valley is not on the field and this card is flipped face up, you can add 1 trap card from your deck to the top of your deck. So pretty much what I can do is I can search for Skill Drain, put Skill Drain on the top of my deck, and the next turn when I draw, I get Skill Drain. So that's why it's kind of like a lava chain type play. You're stacking your deck in a way. And it makes the ability to search for Skill Drain so much more easier. And if your opponent, don't worry if you get a Skill Drain and a Cataville Omen on the field. Pretty much what you can do is you can keep the Cataville Omen in hand, and if your opponent pops Skill Drain through MST or some other means, you can just set Cataville Omen when they attack it and it flips face up. You can search another Skill Drain, put it to the top of your deck, and just keep on going. It also helps because it can help you with running other drain cards in the deck like Soul Drain and Mind Drain, which is pretty good idea if you're going into a tournament with this deck to keep those cards in the side deck, because if you run into a deck like, say, Dark Worlds and all their effects kick off in Grave, you can search out Soul Drain pretty quickly and get Soul Drain out in the field, and then you can get a Skill Drain out in the field and have a Soul Drain, Skill Drain lockdown where your opponent's going to have a hard time getting around these cards because they have such beefier attack. So it's a good idea also to keep Soul Drain and Mind Drain in your side deck, and this card helps search out for all the Skill Drain cards. Plus it can help you search out for generic traps if you already got, like, say, 2 Skill Drain in hand. Very useful card. Next I run Rescue Rabbit, and this rounds out all the monsters. You're running so many vanillas. I mean, I know it contradicts with Seal of the Orichalcos, but it's just a helpful, quick exceed monster to go into Geminite Pearl, which I'll talk about later. But he's your last monster in the deck. Next, we run 3 Fire Formation Tinky and 2 Tensu. You may ask yourself, well, does it get cloggy, with Skill Drain and all these Tinkies and all these Tensus, Does the deck get a little bit cloggy in the back row? Not really. I mean, I've been trying, to run a Bear or Wolfbark, like I said earlier, to make it more of a Fire Fist engine in case Skill Drain, gets blown up on the field. So that's something I'm trying out currently. You can try it out too, but these are pretty much like your 3 Rotas and your double summons, so you can just swarm the field with your your warrior monsters, your beast warriors, excuse me. Next, we run 2 Power Dualities. The deck really does special summon you, believe it or not, because you usually go to Geminite Pearl fairly quickly, because Geminite Pearl is your really big beat stick in this deck, because Geminite Pearl is a normal monster. So you do go into your exceeds pretty often, so that's why I only run 2 Power Duality. If you want to, you can run 3, but I find 2 is to be perfectly enough in this deck. Next, 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, just good generic removal. 1 the Seal of Orichalcos. Great card. And remember, if you activate this card, somebody is going to lose their soul in this duel. And if your opponent loses the duel, you can take their soul. The Seal of the Orichalcos, we call it the Seal of Orichalcomos, which I believe is what it's called in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, the Seal of Orichalcomos. But the Seal of Orichalcos, it's really fun to play with in the deck. You can actually play with it. It's better with the new field spell ruling, but it pretty much gives all your vanilla monsters, your Beast King Barbarosas, just big, beefy attack, and just you can, with Skill Drain out in the field, you can just run over things like crazy. It's really fun. You don't have to run it if you don't want to. Next, I run 1 Swing of Memories. If you have a normal monster out in the field, you can activate Swing of Memories, bring a normal monster back from your graveyard to the field, make a quick exceeds play depending upon the field, or just go for game. It really comes in handy in certain situations, but I only run 1 of that. Next, I run Dark Hole and Book of Moon for your final spell cards. Just 2 very good cards. Next, I run 3 Skill Drain. Pretty much the namesake of the deck. It's the card you want to get to so you can create your lockdown and just start running over your opponent. Because the deck does have an old school beatdown theme with it, so you can just run roughshod over your opponent once you get Skill Drain out. Next, I run 2 Birthright. Birthright is like a Call of the Haunted for normal monsters, but the cool thing about Birthright is if the monster leaves the field or if Birthright is destroyed, this card leaves the field, so it doesn't really clog up the back row as much, but it's pretty much Call of the Haunted for vanilla monsters. Next, I run 2 D-Prison, and I run 2 Justicey Break. Justicey Break is for normal monsters, which is one of the reasons why I run normal monsters, because you can run D-Prisons and you can run Justicey Breaks. Justicey Break states when your opponent attacks a normal monster on the field, you can destroy all your opponent's monsters on the field. So it's like Mirror Force in a way. Think of it as like a Mirror Force for vanilla monsters. Next, I run Compulse, Torrential Tribune, and Bottomless Trap Hole. I do not run Solemn Warning in this deck because you do run Skill Drain, and you will take hits in this deck from your life points. So it's not the best idea to run Solemn Warning in this deck. For the extra deck, you can run anything you really want to. You can run Utopia, 101, Extinction Knight. You can run whatever you want to, but the main Exceed monsters I usually go into is my Gemini Pearls. Sometimes, you can go into like, Fire Fist monsters if you want to, but the main thing I always go for is the Gemini Pearls. Gemini Pearl pretty much becomes a beat stick. Once you have Skill Drain on the field, he's great. You also can bring him back with Birthright because he is a normal monster. So say they run over your Gemini Pearl and you have a Birthright. You can go Birthright, bring back your Gemini Pearl just as a vanilla beat stick. So it's very nice. And he's the main card you will go into because of Skill Drain. So that is the Skill Drain deck profile, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a very fun deck to play. So, guys, I hope you all enjoyed that Skill Drain deck profile. The deck does have kind of a old school type beatdown type theme with it. Once you get Skill Drain out, it kind of harkens back to the olden days, back when it used to be, my monster is bigger than your monster, so I can run over it, and it wasn't all about, effects. These nowadays it's all about, monster effects. So once you get Skill Drain out, it kind of becomes that old types of playing style, because it's pretty much becomes my monster is bigger than your monster, so I can run over it, which is really fun. But also, if you can get Sylvioi Calcos out and a Skill Drain, and then get a Beast King Barbaros out, you're pretty much golden, because you can start punching your opponent in the face and just start running them over. Not physically punch them in the face, but you can start punching their life points out with big beefy monsters. And in a way, once you start playing the deck, you'll notice it kind of swarms once you get a Skill Drain out and Sylvioi Calcos out, because you can just start running over your opponent, roughshod, running over their monsters that on a normal day, most likely their monsters would have good effects if Skill Drain wasn't on the field. So it's a very fun deck to play. I can't say that enough about the deck. It's a really cool deck. I am trying to maybe work in, like I said in the video, like Fire Fist, Bear and Wolf Bark. It's something you may want to play around with it, because in theory it works if Skill Drain's not activated on the field. So if they blow up your Skill Drain, or you don't have low enough life points, the deck pretty much becomes the Fire Engine part of the deck kind of takes over after that. So it's a really fun deck to play. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling to all of you. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and till next time, guys, I'll see ya. Take care, everybody. I'm out of here, guys. Till next time.